So yeah, I just like to firstly give thanks to. Now we'll keep it there for the time being. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start again. Because then like I'm learning what I'm doing in real time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful peoples, welcome to Hood Philosophy, where we're going to discuss and maybe even answer some of life's biggest questions in a way that clicks with people from all walks of life, eh? So we're talking about the hood cats, the single mums, maybe even the dads that can't see their kids, people living it rough, and yeah, those struggling with mental health issues, those with disabilities. They're the people we're trying to reach. So I'm Z. Every now and again I'll look back at the screen because that's what I do. I want it to help me learn what I'm doing as I'm looking at the camera. So I'm going to start off by just giving thanks for being here and having the opportunity to talk to all you beautiful peoples. So today's episode is about taking the leap, but we're not going to jump right in straight away. Well, I just wanted to mention all the people that gave me feedback on the first episode, that took the time to watch what I'm putting out here into the world. Especially a couple of people that gave me some nice honest feedback. Sometimes people can be scared to give that rough, raw, honest truth. But I'm a big boy, I can handle it, and I want to get better. I've taken the leap, so the only way I'm going to get better is by working out where I need to get better and getting to work on it, isn't it? So yeah, it was my eldest son's birthday on Wednesday. He turned 13, going on maybe, I don't know, 21. His attitude even shifted a little bit, which is interesting. Just like becoming a teenager, he thought he was, that little bit more cooler. And already started pushing the boundaries a little bit. But that's cool. You know what, I actually told him today that I get that, you're going through a little bit of an attitude adjustment and your moods go a little bit up and down, and I'm sweet with that. I'm ready to ride that wave with you as long as you show me respect. That's all I ask for, and they know that. And I dare say, yeah, because so that's one thing I'm going to focus on, is how I go and then back into the topic. The bro Tom, want to shout out Tom. He's an exercise physiologist out on the Bayside, and he's awesome at what he does. I love watching Tom work with, especially people with disabilities. He makes sure they're smiling and they're having fun. Anyway, I got off topic there. Yeah, so my son, he turned 13 on Wednesday. He's my first kid. And when I first had kids, I was a shit dad, a really shit dad. I won't get into it right now. Now's probably not the time, second episode and all, don't want to scare you fellas off. But yeah, let me tell you a story though. So, the moment I realised I was a really shit dad was I went to sit down next to him on the couch one day, and he jumped. As if he was a little bit startled, a little bit scared. And that absolutely broke my heart, let me tell you right now. Yeah. It made me self-reflect in a way that I knew that I had to get better, I had to be better. I had to be more present. Because that's unacceptable, eh? Yeah. A son should be proud of their dad, right? Well, since then, it's been quite a few years since then. I think it's been about 6 years. Well, I'm on the way to being someone that the boy can be proud of, which is pretty cool, now that he's turned 13. But yeah, happy birthday, Zafed. I couldn't be more proud of you, son. You're going to turn slowly into a man that walks with love, walks in greatness. Walk with me, son. But yeah, the kids, yeah. See, it went from an and yeah to a but yeah. Isn't that interesting? At the end of the last episode, I mentioned a few quotes, and I just thought I'd share my my thoughts with you fellas in regards to them two quotes, because I thought they were pretty powerful. And I will get better at finding and writing down the references for quotes, just so people could keep them with them. You know, the ones that strike a chord, because every now and again we'll hear a quote and it'll be like, oh, okay, I see what you mean. And because they hit me all the time. That's why I write the fuckers down, you know, because it's wisdom that's been acquired by those that have come before us. Yeah, they're the reason that we can do shit now, especially this kind of stuff. Yeah, like, well, we can't do that. Oh, I gotta fix up my shirt, eh? Probably should have chucked a jumper on, but oh well. So the first one is, happiness is not feeling good, it's being good. This is something that I'm a strong believer in. A very strong believer in. Like, for me, the pursuit of happiness, they're like, do you think they put all that thought into like some chase for waterfalls and rainbows and butterflies and, you know, a place where you don't work hard and everything's easy? Why, like, where's the fun in that? Right, back to the camera. My apologies. But where's the fun in that, right? Happiness, it's the love that you spread out into the world. And let's keep it real. Sometimes you do that for yourself, because you know that, like, when you send good out into the world, the good's going to come back. So it naturally builds character, because the more good you do, the better you become. The better you become, the better you feel. And these fleeting moments of happiness that everybody's chasing, they emanate in everything. You find the beauty in the beast. Happiness it's just a fleeting moment. But when you're being good and you're doing good, that's when you're so-called happy, right? See, I wouldn't call myself happy, but other people would probably, I don't know if they'd say happy, but yeah, I'm content. So yeah, happiness is not feeling good, it's being good. So for me, the main takeaway there is that the more love you send out into the world, the more people you help, the more you give to people that need it, the happier you're gonna feel. But my spin on that one is that it's not going to be one big fleeting moment where bang, all of a sudden you're just happy. No, it's going to be in your day-to-day life, moment to moment. You're going to live more in the moment, and that's where the happiness is going to come from, because you're going to look at a magpie one day and you'll be like, oh, look at that magpie. And the magpie ain't doing nothing different to, you know, like the year before, but you're so-called happy, right? And that's you good. It's the little things, not the big things. The big things bring you a short-term pleasure that never lasts long. Nice big dopamine release, and then once the bright shiny toy gets old, it gets old, right? You use it if you have to, if it's a car, or maybe it's, I don't know, a hat that you don't really give fucks about. You don't care about it goes in the back of the cupboard. But the little things, they stick with you. They're the things that you want to tell people about. And sometimes people just don't understand. I'm looking at Tim's desktop. It's pretty cool. There's always something to distract us, right? Yeah. The second quote. I should probably take the glasses off my head, I'll be honest with you. The time is 5:25 Sunday evening. It is the 20th of July, 2025. And the second quote is, it's not what we belong to, it's who we belong to. Oof, I like this one. I really wish that I wrote down who said it. That one's not even for you fellas, that's for me. So I put it in my big bag of quotes. I never use them. So hopefully the podcast is going to get me using these quotes and I'm going to start applying them to my life. Maybe you fellas, pick up one or two that clicks with you. Hopefully. It's not what we belong to, it's who we belong to. Okay, so tribes, right? Like-minded individuals. Yeah, so don't get me wrong, you say if you're a gym bro and you can go to the gym, right, and that's the what you belong to. But if you have a gym bro to work out with, or there's people there that you interact with on a daily or every second daily basis, well then you feel like you belong to something, don't you? And it doesn't even have to be a class that you do at the gym or a big group of people or anything like that. It can just be 2 or 3 people, and that's something that you do 2 times a week, and it's beautiful because that's you connecting with a couple other people, showing love, showing up, and you're tying it in with something that you like doing as well because you're like-minded individuals, and that's the importance of this quote to me. It's not what we belong to, it's who we belong to. So ask yourself, does it align for you? If you're in a place that you really love doing something that you're doing, are you in the right place where you're going to meet people that like doing the same thing and that you might click with, that you might connect with? Because that's apparently that's the key to life. Apparently, what's his name, Mr. Robert Waldinger, old mate with the Harvard, what's the key to happiness? Happiness, isn't that it pops up everywhere. Happiness. Yeah. So, taking the leap. I took the leap with this podcast. Should I start there? I should start there. I might as well. People like stories. I started talking about podcasts maybe 5 to 6 years ago. And I've been talking and a few years ago I learned that people will come to you with ideas and projects that they want to engage with you on, but sometimes they're not as serious as you about it. They're not willing to take the leap with you. They're willing to talk about starting to take the leap, but they're not actually willing to take the leap. And I got burnt a couple times, so yeah. And that probably discouraged me from taking the leap in itself. It made it seem like an even scarier endeavor. And finally, thanks to the brother Emmanuel, and I've got to shout out the Nothing But Love podcast. That's a podcast that me, Emmanuel, and myself started, I think 4 weeks ago, about a month ago. and it was good fun. We put a couple more episodes down on Thursday that should be out soon, and that was a really good chat. That I think, especially if you're a male, we chatted about masculinity. So, and it's a two-part. So make sure you fellas check that out. Even for the ladies, I think it's an interesting discussion to hear. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so back to Emmanuel and I, we took the leap because I think for me, I was looking for that person to take the leap with me. I didn't want to do it by myself. All right, okay, so that's something to note right there. I think that's important to note. Sometimes we're too scared to take the leap by ourselves. Is there an option to do it with somebody else? Is there an option to do it with somebody's help? Is there an option at looking at something like that? All right, okay, so back to it. Me and Emmanuel talked about it, and I said to the brother, I'm gonna get. Oh no, sorry. Emmanuel sent me a link, an Amazon link for a podcast beginner equipment set that night, and I grabbed it straight away because I knew first step. That's the first step, right? I was waiting for someone to come along and take the leap with me. Oi, I just spat them. Sorry, Tim. Alright, back to it. Yeah, I was waiting for someone to take the leap with me, so I grabbed the equipment and I had a chat with Emmanuel, and I said, well, we got to be consistent, and Emmanuel's on the same page, he wants to do the same thing, and bang, I think a week later, we're at Emmanuel's house and we're putting it down. Yeah, we got it done. We stopped being and we started doing. That's something that you're going to hear over and over and over because it's something that I want to drum into my own brain. And usually if I want to drum something into that, I annoy the shit out of everybody, eh? Yeah, I'll just have a drink of water. Okay, so that's my story. That's how I'm here. That's how I'm talking to you beautiful peoples. We took the leap. So that's the first takeaway from that one. I'd like to highlight that one. If we too scared or too hesitant about doing it by ourselves, is there someone that we can do that with? Is there someone that can maybe help us with that process? Because let's be honest, I'm sitting here in Tim's study, I'll say, on his streaming platform. I've got to give thanks to the brother Tim again. But yeah, can someone assist us in the process? Okay, so the next thing I'd like to go to is, and I was just doing a little bit of reading of, I did some writing about taking the leap probably a week ago, and one of the things I started with was sometimes we overwhelm ourselves, and not even in regards to the emotions we feel about starting something new or changing jobs or looking for a new girlfriend or starting a new business, and a work project, anything like that. And sometimes we just dive head in. We think about it, but we don't think about the grand scheme of things because we don't take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And sometimes when we do that, that's going to discourage us from trying it again, isn't it? And so that's why, like, when we are trying to achieve goals, we don't want to go too hard too fast. We don't want to go too hard too fast. And I know you've heard it over and over and over and over again, but we don't want to go too hard too fast. We've got to break it down. We're very simple beings. right? Yeah? Very simple. When people dumb shit down for us and make it easier for us to understand, and this goes for the intellectuals and the, you know, the so-called academics, when, and it doesn't matter, like, everybody speaks in their speak, but when you can say it in a way that everybody understands, then that's powerful, right? Right. And I believe that's why I can maybe click with one of you in regards to this. Dumb it down. Break it down. Baby steps. You're taking the leap, right? What's the first step? Because when you got to start something, what do you have to do? You have to start. So maybe your start is writing down what you have to do. Is that the first thing? Or maybe it's writing it down, breaking down the first step and asking yourself, what can I do right this minute that would put something towards achieving the goal that I want to achieve? What's one little thing, one tiny thing? Bang, you've started. What can you do with that? You can turn that into a compound effect. And that's something else you're going to hear a lot about on the Hood philosophy as well, is the power of compound effect, is turning the small wins into a mountain. A mountain of sweet bliss, right? Like, and take your pick. Whatever, like, whatever you want to apply it to. You want to apply it to the gym, you want to apply it to your morning routine, you want to apply it to your meditation. This is how we build and create, develop, resilience, confidence, self-esteem, and these are all integral to taking the leap, whether it be anything that I've already mentioned before, like, you know, like looking for a new girlfriend, like say there's someone that you want to approach that you like at work. So that's taking the leap, right? Buying a van, or like a pie van or a food van, you know, that's taking the leap. So this conversation applies to every single aspect of our lives, I believe. All right, let me hit you with one I think that is quite perfect. What about boundaries? What about boundaries, right? How scary sometimes is it to implement a boundary? You know why? Because it takes courage. It's brave. Taking the leap is brave as fuck. Brave as fuck. And this, alright, no. I am going to go off topic. You know what inspired me to believe that I could do hard things? That, like, in a way that it actually clicked with my brain, was working with people with disabilities. They just get it done. And I'm blessed in regards to, I don't see myself as any different to a person with a disability. If anything, they just got it way harder when they wake up in the morning, but they get it done. And not only do they get it done, I'm a support worker who doesn't underestimate their client, and I push those who I work with. That's why you hear me say that I turn boys into men. And I work with various types of clients, all different. So like, see, we just go. But there's something that I want to touch on at the end of the episode. Yeah. So back to people with disabilities is, I push them, and even just implementing basic routines is so hard in our lives, right? So imagine how hard it is for these fellas, like autistic fellas, people with severe anxiety, ADHD. And I start so simple with them. And this is them taking the leap, and this is what is inspirational to me. Yeah, and to you it might seem so simple, and I get it. But when you're there and you see them, and you see the looks on their faces when they achieve the little wins, because I praise them and I make sure they know that, yeah, that they just got a little win, because that shit's important. You know, I wish I had someone to pat me on the back every time I got me a small win, because that turned you into a beast. Maybe a little bit too much confidence, but you know. And every day they let me push them, and that's nothing short of a blessing. So the second, sorry, the third episode was going to be about why we're so scared of failure, but we're coming up to, we're almost coming up to the end of the episode. There's something that I just wanted to mention. Okay, so there's a part of the brain that that grows every time we do something challenging, right? So like not too challenging, just challenging enough to click with our brains in a way that primes it and makes it that little bit stronger. But I wanted to reference where I heard it from. It was from Dr. Andrew Huberman, who's a neuroscientist, and he has a great podcast called the Andrew Huberman podcast. The fellow wants to spread his knowledge and wisdom for free, you know, like this is something I can get down with. Like, what a cool fellow. Well, anyway, okay, so here's one of his. He talks about when he mentions the brain growing from doing something challenging is usually neuroplasticity, and specifically he often refers to the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus. So the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that's involved in like focus, decision making, control, so like your analytical, all them thoughts and the way you process that, and what he says is when you do something hard like learning a new skill or overcoming resistance, you're engaging and strengthening circuits in that part of the brain. And I just thought that was so cool, you know, especially considering the conversation that we've just had in regards to taking the leap. You know, it's wow. It's cool. All right. So, I am running out of time here. All right, because I've done well for my second episode. I think I've looked at the camera pretty well. The and yeahs haven't been there that much. So every single episode, I'm gonna end with a poem that I've written. So in the first episode, I mentioned that I'm a poet. Well, I thought I'd share that poetry with you. I'd like to shout out my brother Barber Vinny. He's the bro that got me ready for this episode and suggested reading a poem at the end of the episode. So that I thought that was a pretty cool idea, right? So while I have a quick one, because I wanted it to be a random one today. All right, and it's the poem that I wrote about the show. All right, you ready? You gonna fuck with me or what? All right, here we go. Hood philosophy. What the fuck does that even mean? It's a simple way to tell the stories about all the fucked up shit we've done and seen. It's about what could have been. You're not supposed to understand this life we lived. You look down on us like life dealt us an unlucky hand. That's because you don't see community, connection to land. All you see is hoodlums and thugs with no morals that refuse to draw a line in the sand. We grew up rough, yeah, we sold drugs. We don't talk to police. We got heart like you've never felt before. There's something about this place that makes even weak men tough. Now we are saying that enough is enough. It's about time we used our voice to show these young cats there's always a choice. They look at us like we've never known love, and maybe they're right, but the hood is where heart lies, and we never back down from the fight. Trials and tribulations, we're sick of being patient. That train has already left the station, no more being complacent. Hood philosophy, what does it even mean? The good, the bad, the ugly, all the fucked up shit we've done and seen. A space to talk about what could have been. Don't try to understand, for in time you'll see this was my plan. So I guess the name of that one must be Hood Philosophy. Everybody, blessed day. Chee-hoo! Sweet.
Yes, sir.
Are you busy? Oh man.
No.
Can I do another one tomorrow?
You want to do another one tomorrow?
Is that alright?
Yeah.
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 Because I got a bit of time this week.
Yeah, easy. Easy.
That was sweet, eh?
And then I'll upload that one for you tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it, bro.
Yeah, that was all good, eh?
I loved it.
What am I going to say to you, bro?
Yeah, just leave it. I'll.
Oh, just because it teaches me.
Oh yeah.
I gotta bring it over here, eh?
Yeah, we can't yet. You have to wait till it completes loading.
Oh, okay.
Wait till it completes loading, and then you should be able to. Then you can start like editing it and stuff. But I mean,
There, look.
hopefully the microphone wasn't off.
Bro.
Well, you might have knocked it.
No. No. Fuck. Oh, good. I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, I got it live on here.
No.